Welcome to Rob on Holiday. In this video, we're going to show you how to navigate Venice by boat. One of the things we've really enjoyed about Venice is there's no cars and no cyclists, so you're not always looking over your shoulder, oh, I'm going to be run over. It's great for walking around. But of course, that presents its own challenge because if you want to get anywhere that's not walking, you're going to have to get a boat.
The first thing you need to think about when planning your transport for Venice is how are you going to get from the airport to the island. There are several options. First, you can take the boat. The Alla Laguna boat service runs lines from the airport to both St. Mark's Square and the Rialto Bridge. The blue line runs to St. Mark's Square and takes 1 hour 20 minutes, with boats running from approximately 5 AM until midnight. The orange line runs to the Rialto Bridge and takes around 1 hour, with boats running approximately 8:30 AM to 11 PM. Tickets for these boats cost €15 one way or €27 for a return ticket and include one suitcase and one piece of hand luggage per passenger. You can pay an additional €3 per extra bag. Now, this might sound like the most idyllic way to approach the city, and it's certainly the most popular, but judging by the queues at the airport to buy tickets, it wouldn't be my recommendation. You can also take a bus from the airport to Venice. You can choose from Line 5 or Line 35, both of which take you from the airport to Piazzale Roma, the furthest point that traffic can reach on the island of Venice. Tickets for the bus cost approximately €10 per person or €18 for a return ticket. Buses also run from the early hours of the morning till just after midnight. The final option, which is my preferred option as there were 4 of us, is to take a taxi. This is what we did when we visited Venice earlier this year, and we found it to be the quickest way to get to Venice. Our taxi took just 20 minutes to get to the Piazzale Roma and cost just over €40. If you're visiting Venice for only a couple of days, this is the option I would recommend to make the most of your time in the city. The only disadvantage to getting a bus or a taxi is that the Piazzale Roma is on the western side of the island, the opposite side to most of the major attractions. However, there is a Vaporetto dock right next to the Piazzale Roma where you can board a boat directly to both the Rialto Bridge and St. Mark's Square. This is also a much more convenient location to buy your Vaporetto pass than at the airport, since the queues seem to move very quickly here. Now, you may be wondering, what is a Vaporetto? Well, it's the name of the public water buses that service Venice's canals and the surrounding islands. You can buy tickets for the Vaporettos at several of the larger stations across Venice. However, we recommend buying your ticket as soon as you get to the island at Piazzale Roma.
So let's talk about the cost of a Vaporetto ticket. If you just want 24 hours here in Venice, it's going to cost you €20 to get an all-access Vaporetto ticket. And for that, you don't have to worry about how many times you use the boat. You've just paid your fee up front. All you have to do is keep checking in with the card and you're good to go. We were here just over 24 hours, running about, 30 hours. We're going to be using boats both days. So we decided to get a 48-hour ticket. That cost us €35. Well, whichever way you're doing it, if you're going to stay here in Venice for 1, 2, 3 days, I think it makes sense to get a multi-trip pass, because I don't know the exact cost, but I think it's like €6, €7 or €8 just for one trip. So you can imagine, for example, if you're going to San Giorgio Island, if you're going there and back, bang, it's €16 just for that trip. So it makes sense to get a multi-ticket.
Once you've got your tickets, they are really easy to use. There is a scan point at each Vaporetto dock, and all you have to do is scan your ticket and you're ready to go.
If you're getting a boat here in Venice, unless it's a gondola, you're not going to get down any of the side canals. The main boats are really useful for navigating between the various different points of interest in Venice. For example, up and down the Grand Canal. But also, they're very useful to get to the various islands that are in the lagoon around Venice. For example, San Giorgio Island there. But there are others that you could spend, if you were here for a week or so, you can go to all the different islands, and the boat system works fantastic here.
Now let's talk about some of the main lines you might use to get around Venice. The main line you are going to use to get around the main area of Venice is Line 1. This line starts at the Piazzale Roma, where road traffic drops you off, and runs all the way down the Grand Canal with a number of stops including the Rialto Bridge, the Accademia Bridge, St. Mark's Square and the Arsenale. If you're looking to explore some of the islands in the lagoon surrounding Venice, there are Vaporetto services running to many of them too. One that we particularly recommend is taking the Vaporetto Line 2 from San Zaccaria B dock, just outside St Mark's Square, over to San Giorgio Maggiore Island. This journey takes just 3 minutes and it's definitely worth it for the views back over the main area of Venice. Another popular trip to take is Vaporetto number 14 from San Zaccaria over to Burano, an island further out into the lagoon and famous for its colourful houses. Your best tool to help you navigate Venice by boat is the ACTV website, where you can find an interactive Vaporetto map and timetables. There's a link in the description to the exact page.
Now, using the water services, particularly the Vaporetto, if you think of it like using the underground or metro in any major city. So of course, like using a metro system, it's very important to know the direction you're travelling and also the terminus. But of course, there's lots of maps to help you. We've got given a map by our hotel which shows the different Vaporetto routes. There's lots of signage outside. The dock numbers are very clear, and in a lot of cases there's a digital board like this one here that tells you how long till the next service and which direction it's going in.
So, the last thing we need to discuss is our experience using the Vaporettos whilst in Venice. To be honest, most of the Vaporettos are very crowded, so don't expect an idyllic experience. Yes, the views are nice, but most of the time you are squashed up like sardines.
This is the real experience of being on a Vaporetto. Think sardines and a tin, you won't go far wrong.
However, the Vaporettos are the easiest way to navigate Venice, particularly in terms of getting from the airport to the city and exploring other nearby islands. Plus, if you are staying slightly out of the centre, they're really useful for getting back down the Grand Canal.
Thanks for watching our video on how to navigate Venice by boat. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below and we'll try and answer them. Thanks for watching Rob on Holiday, and we'll see you here next time.